If I were the devil, if I were the prince of darkness, I'd want to engulf the whole world in darkness, and I wouldn't be happy until I had seized the ripest apple on the tree. You. That's right, you. So as the devil, I'd set about doing whatever was necessary to take over the United States. I'd subvert the churches first. I'd begin with a campaign of whispers. With the wisdom of a serpent, I would whisper to you as I did to Eve, do as you please. To the young I would whisper that the Bible is a myth. I would convince the youngins that man created God instead of the other way around. I would confide that what's bad is good and what's good is square. And the old I would teach to pray after me, Our Father which art in Washington, D.C. And then I'd get organized. I'd educate authors on how to make the lurid exciting so that anything else would appear dull, uninteresting, and boring. I'd threaten TV with dirtier, filthier movies. I'd peddle narcotics to all whom I could. I'd sell alcohol to ladies and gentlemen of distinction. I'd tranquilize the rest with pills. If I were the devil, I'd soon have families at war with themselves, churches at war with themselves, and nations at war with themselves, until each in turn was consumed. And with promises of higher ratings, I'd have the mesmerizing mainstream media fanning the flames of negativity. If I were the devil, I would encourage schools to refine young intellects, but neglect to discipline emotions. Just let those run wild. Until before you know it, you'd have drug-sniffing dogs and metal detectors at each schoolhouse door. If I were the devil, I'd have prisons overflowing. I'd have judges promoting pornography. Soon I could evict God from the courthouse, then God from the schoolhouse, and then from the houses of Congress. And in his own churches I would substitute psychology for religion and deify science. I would lure priests, pastors, and teachers into abusing little innocent boys and girls. If I were the devil, I'd make the symbol of Easter an egg instead of the resurrected Christ, and the symbol for Christmas would become a bottle of booze instead of the birth of Lord baby Jesus. If I were the devil, I'd create a government who will steal from those who are producers and give it to those who want it and are only takers, until I had killed the incentive of all the ambitious. And what do you bet? I could get whole states to promote gambling as the way to get rich without working. I would caution against extremes like hard work, patriotism, and righteous moral conduct. I would convince the young that marriage is old-fashioned, maybe even that marriage shouldn't just be limited to a man and his woman, that swinging is more fun, that what you see on TV is the way to be. If I were the devil, I'd utter this command to you: do not turn off that TV. And thus the devil, I would undress you in public and lure you into bed to infect you with diseases for which there is no cure. In other words, if I were the devil, I'd just keep on doing what the devil's doing right now. God save us all. Hello, my name is Rich Novak. That was my rendition of Paul Harvey's broadcast that aired way back in 1965. My name again is Rich Novak, and I host a radio show on the OverSeas Radio Network. Please visit OverSeasRadio.com and check out the show for Rich Novak, the man in Panama. That's OverSeasRadio.com. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you on the radio.